Hey YouTube, Nisu Griff here. This video is going to be about my current reading list slash my to-read list for July. And let's just get right to it. My first book, I'm reading a couple books right now, that's kind of how I do things, but my first book is 50 Shades of Grey, and it's my first time reading it. I know I'm kind of late on that bandwagon, and the reason is because I was kind of avoiding it, because I heard awful things about it, but my friend at work got super into it recently and got this for me as a birthday gift. So I'm reading it, and yeah, I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. And I'm not going to continue reading the trilogy. I'm going to finish it. You know, in at least right now, I'm like 150 pages in, and I really can't see myself wanting to read the other two books. And I'm kind of just finishing this kind of because I feel guilty. I would feel guilty if I didn't, because she did buy it for me, and I am trying to like it, or at least get through it for her, because she absolutely loves the trilogy, and that's cool. I'm not like knocking on people who like the trilogy. I personally I don't care for it, and I think there's way better smut that I could find and read. So that's one book. And the other book that I'm reading currently is Seven Deadly Sins by Corey Taylor. And I just started this past weekend. I'm only about 30 pages in, and I like it so far. I'm a pretty big Slipknot fan, so I wanted to read it, and I know this has been out for a few years too, so I'm probably a little late on that bandwagon. And I know he actually has another book out that I'm probably going to read at some point. So yeah. And this, because the way I do things, like I usually have like a book that I'm reading, and obviously I have two books that I'm reading, mainly because I can only take 50 Shades of Grey in small doses, so I'm kind of cutting it with Corey Taylor. And then, so I usually have a book I'm reading. I usually have a manga series, or a comic series, or graphic novel, some kind of series that I'm going through at the same time, just to kind of like break stuff up if I'm getting kind of, if I just need something a little different than what I've been reading. So at the moment, I'm reading for my manga slash comic series, the Sailor Moon series, and I'm a huge Sailor Moon nerd, and I've never actually read the entire series through. So I'm super excited about it, and I got this whole thing probably about 6 months ago, and I finished up to 3, and then I had my semester start, and I kind of just didn't have time to kind of get back into it. But this is kind of like segueing into my July to read list, because I plan on finishing the series by the end of July. I mean, each one probably only takes me about an hour to read. So yeah, so that's kind of my goal for July for my manga series. So there's that. And I usually have an audiobook going at the same time as everything else. And that's just so I can kind of have something to listen to while I'm like, doing my art journaling or any kind of crafting, because if I have the TV on, I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll watch the TV, and I know this. And if I have music on, I listen to a lot of, kind of kinetic, I guess, kind of music. It's stuff that you want to, like, not be just sitting to. Like, you want to get up and move around. And if I listen to it, I will not sit and do, my sketching or my crocheting or insert activity where I need to be kind of sitting. So that's why I like having an audiobook. At the moment, it's Kate Moss. Kate Moss's The Labyrinth, which is actually, I've been kind of slow going through it, and I like it, and I want to finish it, but it's just kind of been slow going, and I don't know if that's just because I haven't really had time to do any of those things in the last, like, month and a half. So hopefully I'll be getting through that by the end of July, because I've been kind of slowly going through that. I started that probably back in March or April, and I'm about halfway through it. So there's that. It's my iPod. It's where I house all my audiobooks. And then for the actual books that I'm planning on getting through for July, Stephen King's The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. This is actually one, I'm a huge Stephen King fan. My dad was big into him, still is, and he's probably, like, the first, like, adult author that I got into, when I was, like, 15, 16 years old. And I haven't read this one yet, and it's small. It's one of his thinner ones, and I've been told it's kind of not like, because, I know he's big on, obviously the supernatural, spooky horror stuff, and I guess, at least from what I've read and heard, that this is kind of a step a bit away from that. So I'm interested in reading this book. And then I've got Body Surfing by Anita Shreve. I've never actually read an Anita Shreve novel, and I've had this on my bookshelf for ever. And I know my mom kind of lent it to me probably 10 years ago, and I've never read it. And I kind of wanted to make it a goal for the summer to really only read books that I have on my bookshelf, because I have a ton of them that I end up buying, like, a few at a time, and then I don't get to read them. Or I'll, go to the library. I'm a big library fan. And I'll, like, get something else, or, stuff like that. So I'm trying to make this the summer of getting through my bookshelf. So there's that one. And then I have Sophocles, The Oedipus Cycle. I like plays, some of them, and I've read Antigone a while ago. That was a school thing. But I've wanted to get through the first two, and I know in general what happens, but I'm a fan of at least trying to get through classical literature. Sometimes it doesn't work. Actually, most of the time it doesn't work, but this is kind of my classical literature choice for the month. So there's that. And then, big one, Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis. I've never read them, and I feel kind of ashamed to admit that, because I'm a huge fantasy reader, and I've had this book, again, like, it was like a gift, and I haven't gotten to it. But I feel like it's probably an easier read, because it's supposed to be for, you know, obviously young adults, and I'm pretty excited that I'm actually going to read it and that I'm going to kind of set that goal. So yeah, that is my TBR and my current reading for July. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later. Bye!